High above the verdant expanse of the vast forest, an eagle named Matthew soared. His wings cut through the crisp morning air with precision and grace. Matthew was known far and wide among the forest creatures for his unparalleled strength and keen vision. His plumage was a magnificent display of browns and golds, catching the light and shimmering like the treasures buried deep within the earth. Matthew had a routine, a path he followed every day, watching over his domain. He felt a deep sense of pride and duty in protecting his territory. But one day, something unexpected happened. As Matthew glided over the forest canopy, a sudden, fierce storm rolled in. The sky darkened, and the wind howled with an intensity that shook the trees below. Matthew fought to maintain his altitude, but the violent gusts were too powerful. Lightning cracked through the sky, and in a blinding flash, it struck Matthew, sending him plummeting to the forest floor. When Matthew awoke, he found himself on the forest floor, his body bruised and battered. His wings, once strong and proud, were now limp and aching. As he tried to gather his bearings, he realized something far more alarming. He had no memory of who he was or where he came from. The once familiar forest now seemed like a strange and hostile wilderness. Confused and disoriented, Matthew stumbled through the underbrush, his heart racing with fear and uncertainty. As he wandered, Matthew came across a small clearing where a gentle stream flowed. He drank deeply, the cool water soothing his parched throat. While resting by the stream, he was approached by a wise old owl named Oliver. With eyes full of wisdom and kindness, Oliver spoke. "You look lost, young eagle. What has brought you to this state?" Matthew, struggling to piece together his fragmented thoughts, replied, I don't know who I am. I don't know where I belong." Oliver studied him for a moment before nodding slowly. "It seems you have lost more than just your way. But fear not, for the forest has a way of healing those who seek it. Stay with me, and perhaps together we can find the answers you seek." Over the next few weeks, Oliver took Matthew under his wing, teaching him the ways of the forest. They explored the dense woods, climbed towering trees, and soared over the landscape. Though Matthew's flight was still weak and hesitant, Oliver shared stories of the forest's history and its many inhabitants, hoping to jog Matthew's memory. Despite the kindness and knowledge Oliver offered, Matthew's past remained a shadowy void. One day, as they ventured deeper into the heart of the forest, they encountered a group of animals gathered around a large, ancient tree. The tree was known as the Tree of Echoes, said to hold the memories of all creatures who had lived in the forest. Curious and desperate for answers, Matthew approached the tree. As he touched its rough bark, a surge of images flooded his mind, fragmented glimpses of a life once lived. He saw flashes of soaring high above the mountains, a nest perched on a rocky cliff, and a feeling of freedom that stirred something deep within him. Yet, just as quickly as the images came, they faded away, leaving Matthew more confused than ever. Oliver noticed the distress on Matthew's face and placed a comforting wing on his shoulder. Sometimes, the path to understanding is not a straight line. Trust in the journey, and the pieces will fall into place. With renewed determination, Matthew continued his training with Oliver. He practiced flying, building his strength and endurance. The other animals of the forest began to recognize him not as the lost eagle, but as a friend and protector. Matthew's confidence grew, and with it, a sense of purpose began to blossom. He found joy in helping others, guiding them through the forest and protecting them from harm. As the days turned into months, Matthew's memories started to return in small, fragmented pieces. He remembered his name and the pride he once took in his role as a guardian of the forest. However, the details of his fall and the reason for his amnesia remained elusive. It was as if a dark cloud obscured the most crucial parts of his past. One fateful day, a disturbance spread through the forest. The animals spoke in hushed tones about a great eagle that had been sighted near the mountain's edge, a majestic creature with golden plumage, much like Matthew's own. Driven by a mix of curiosity and an unshakable feeling that this eagle was connected to his past, Matthew set out to find this mysterious bird. Oliver, sensing the importance of this journey, accompanied him. They traveled for days, braving treacherous terrain and harsh weather. As they neared the mountain, Matthew felt a strange sense of familiarity. His heart pounded with anticipation and fear, Finally, they reached a rocky outcrop overlooking a vast valley. Perched on a ledge was the eagle they had heard about. The eagle turned to face them, and Matthew's breath caught in his throat. It was like looking into a mirror. This eagle was nearly identical to him. The stranger spoke, his voice echoing through the valley. "Matthew, it has been a long time." Confusion and recognition washed over Matthew simultaneously. "Do you know me?" he asked, his voice trembling. "I am Magnus, your brother. You were once the greatest protector of this forest, but you disappeared after the storm. I searched for you, but it was as if you had vanished." The memories came rushing back in a torrent. Matthew remembered the storm, the lightning strike, and the fall. He remembered the responsibility he had shouldered and the pride he felt in his role. Tears welled up in his eyes as he turned to Oliver. "I remember now. I remember who I am." Magnus stepped closer, his eyes filled with a mix of joy and sorrow. "The forest has missed you, brother. We have faced many challenges in your absence, but now that you are back, we can restore balance together." Matthew faced a choice: to stay with the animals who had become his new family, or return to his old life as the forest's guardian. He looked at Oliver, who had become a mentor and friend, and then at Magnus, a reminder of his past and his duty. Taking a deep breath, Matthew spoke with newfound clarity. "I will not abandon those who helped me when I was lost, but I also cannot ignore my duty. Together, we can protect this forest, old and new, united as one." With his brother by his side and the support of his new friends, Matthew embraced his role as a guardian once more. He found strength in his past and hope in his future. The forest, vibrant and alive, flourished under their care, and Matthew, no longer lost, soared higher than ever before, an inspiration to all who knew his story. A tale of resilience, rediscovery, and the unbreakable bond between past and present.